Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise, get straight to the stuff you need to know fast.
Yeah.
And today, we're diving deep into something really critical if you're anywhere near the tech world. How do you actually build great software when the people building it, the engineers, might be looking for the door?
Right. It's this huge paradox, isn't it? Massive demand, but also like constant churn.
Exactly.
So our mission today really is to get past the usual HR talk.
Yeah.
We want to figure out how to build a workplace, a culture where developers aren't just, coding,
Right.
but they're actually engaged, they're innovating, they want to be there. And this isn't just fuzzy stuff, it's strategic.
Totally strategic. I mean, think about this stat from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Nearly 200,000 openings
Wow.
for developers, QA folks, testers every year, and they call them hard to replace.
They are hard to replace.
Yet you see developers jumping ship sometimes every couple of years.
Yeah, way faster than the average job tenure.
Yeah. Less than half the national average. So it's not about if they're valuable, we know they are, it's why are they leaving and what makes them stick around and really thrive.
That's the core question.
Yeah.
So this deep dive, we're sifting through data, through expert takes,
Yeah.
to find those, core strategies
Okay.
for building a genuinely great tech culture. And like you said, it goes way beyond just throwing money at them.
Yes. Salary's just the start, it seems.
It's table stakes, really.
Okay, so let's unpack this. It's kind of weird, right? Demand is sky high, but the turnover also sky high. We're seeing figures like, what, 20% actively looking at any given time?
Actively looking, yeah. And then another 54% are open to offers.
Yeah.
Even if they aren't hunting right now.
That's huge. More than half are potentially persuadable. So if they're so valued, why aren't they just happier staying put?
Well, that's the fascinating bit, isn't it? The high turnover basically proves that just paying more isn't the fix.
Right.
Our research, all the sources point to this.
Yeah.
Developers want more. They want interesting work, new tech.
Intellectual stimulation.
Exactly. They want to see a path forward, growth opportunities, maybe leadership roles down the line.
And balance, right. Work-life balance keeps coming up.
Oh, absolutely. Especially now, post-COVID. Flexibility is massive. Things like anchor days are interesting.
Yeah, where you have specific days in the office for collaborating, but lots of remote time too.
Precisely. Balancing that connection with focused remote work.
Okay, and here's a real kicker. I thought this was fascinating. More than half of engineers say the number one thing that makes a company attractive is a focus on developer experience.
Yes. Developer experience. And let's be clear, that's not just about having a shiny new laptop.
No, it's deeper.
It's about how satisfying, how efficient it is to actually use the tools, the platforms, the whole internal setup.
Like, does the workflow actually flow? Is documentation clear? Can they spin up infrastructure easily?
Yes, exactly. Self-service, good internal platforms, clear docs, removing friction.
Okay, so if we connect that dot, focusing on that developer experience, it's not just a nice to have. It directly impacts productivity.
Absolutely. And the company's success overall. A developer who feels empowered by their tools and their environment.
They're not just happier, they're faster.
They're way more efficient. They spend less time fighting the system, less toil.
And more time actually building things, solving problems.
Right. And this isn't just a tech thing, is it? There was that broad survey. 72% of all U.S. workers said culture is the biggest driver of their productivity.
72%. Okay, so culture, developer experience. It's mission critical. How do we actually do it? Where do we start building this foundation?
Well, it starts with the basics, sometimes the overlooked stuff, the physical space, but also the emotional space.
Okay, like the office itself.
Yeah. Comfort matters. Ergonomic chairs, good monitors, decent lighting, temperature control.
The fundamentals.
The fundamentals. But also, think about spaces to decompress. Quiet zones, maybe even recreational areas if that fits the culture.
And how do you know what they actually want in that space?
Simple but powerful. Just ask them.
Really?
Yeah. Involve them. Ask what they value, what they need. It builds buy-in, gives them ownership, makes it their space.
That makes sense. Okay, physical space is one thing. What about the non-physical? Work-life balance came up.
Non-negotiable. Flexibility isn't a perk anymore. It's essential.
Prevents burnout, reduces stress.
Allows developers to work when they're actually on, when they're most creative. And that's often not 9 to 5 sharp.
Coding takes intense focus, so breaks, comfortable settings, maybe even wellness programs. They're not fluff.
Not at all. They're vital for sustaining that high cognitive output. You need to support well-being actively.
Got it. All right, so environment well-being. What about growth? You mentioned that's a big reason people leave.
Huge reason. Feeling stuck is a killer for motivation.
So companies need to provide real opportunities.
Absolutely. Structured training,
Yeah.
proper mentoring programs, access to new, interesting technologies.
Like a real plan for their career.
A clear, personalized development plan. It shows you're invested in them long term, keeps them engaged.
And it's not just formal training courses, right?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Things like internal tech talks, maybe hackathons, coding sessions where people share what they know.
Brown bags, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Or even just dedicated time for self-directed learning. Keeps skills sharp, plus you get that cross-pollination of ideas.
Okay, learning, growth.
Uh-huh.
What about the tools themselves? You mentioned developer experience earlier.
Crucial. Leadership really needs to ask, are we really investing enough in the right tools and infrastructure?
Because bad tools slow people down.
Massively.
Mm-hmm.
Good tools boost innovation, boost velocity. That means performant hardware, sure, but also things like robust internal platforms.
Like CI/CD pipelines, self-service infrastructure.
Exactly. And automation to kill the boring, repetitive admin tasks. Let developers focus their brain power on the creative stuff, not wrestling with clunky systems.
Right, free them up to actually innovate. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Tools, growth, environment. Now let's get to maybe the squishier stuff, the heart of it all. Connection.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. Cultivating connection and the absolute bedrock, trust and openness.
Okay, what does that look like in practice?
It means fostering really candid, frequent communication. Sharing ideas, giving real feedback, talking openly about challenges.
Without feeling like you're going to get shot down.
Exactly. Creating an environment where people feel safe to speak up. No fear of judgment, no retribution.
That sounds like psychological safety.
Precisely. You remember Google's Project Aristotle?
Yeah.
That big study they did on team effectiveness?
Yeah, I do.
They found psychological safety wasn't just important, it was the most critical element for high-performing teams.
Wow, the number one thing.
Number one, it means people feel safe to take risks, to ask questions, even admit they messed up.
Without career suicide.
Right. And for a tech team dealing with complex systems, that's vital. For innovation, yes, but also just for learning from things when they inevitably go wrong, like through proper, blameless postmortems.
Blameless. Okay, so that changes how you handle failure, right?
Completely. You have to embrace failure, not just tolerate it.
How?
Frame setbacks as learning opportunities, essential learning opportunities. Foster a genuinely blame-free environment. Maybe even, celebrate the learnings from failures.
To see them as steps forward.
Steps toward improvement. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about making it safe to experiment rigorously, not just taking random risks.
Okay, safety, openness.
Yeah.
But you still need accountability, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Underpinning all this, you need crystal clear expectations.
What does that mean? Like clear goals?
Clear performance metrics, clear responsibilities, clear understanding of the desired outcomes, and crucially, how each person's work fits into the bigger business goals.
So everyone knows what they're aiming for and why it matters.
Exactly. That clarity builds ownership, dedication, and actually, it empowers creativity because you know the target.
Okay, speaking of empowerment, autonomy comes up a lot too.
Yes. The best tech cultures give developers real freedom. Freedom to explore ideas, freedom to implement them.
So leadership needs to actually trust them.
Genuine trust in their technical expertise, their judgment. It's not just about delegating tasks down a chain.
That trust must lead to more engaged teams, right? People taking ownership.
Definitely. And it leads to this important shift from being process-oriented to being goal-oriented.
Meaning?
Instead of managers telling developers how to build something step by step.
Micromanaging.
Yeah. The focus shifts to what the business outcome needs to be. Then you empower these smart, creative engineers to figure out the best way to get there.
Let the engineers engineer.
Pretty much.
Okay. Now, are there specific practices that help build this kind of trust and collaboration?
One that comes up again and again in the research is pair programming.
Pair programming. 2 developers, 1 keyboard.
Sort of, yeah. Especially if you rotate pairs regularly.
Why rotation?
It's incredibly powerful for breaking down knowledge silos. Preventing that bus factor where only one person knows a critical system.
Ah, right. Spreads the knowledge.
Spreads the knowledge, fosters discipline, encourages consistent coding standards because you're constantly reviewing each other's work in real time.
And builds a sense of shared ownership.
A deep sense of shared responsibility for the code quality. Yeah. It's like a workout for your team's collaborative muscles.
Interesting. It seems simple, but sounds like it has big cultural impacts.
It really does. It naturally encourages that continuous review, knowledge sharing, problem solving together. Leads to better code and a more connected team.
Okay, beyond the immediate team interactions, what about the broader mix of people? Diversity and inclusion.
Absolutely critical. And we're talking diversity in the broadest sense.
Not just demographics.
Not just demographics, though that's important, but also diversity of thought, experience, backgrounds, skills, perspectives.
Why is that mix so important?
Because diverse teams are just flat out more innovative. They bring more ideas to the table, they challenge assumptions, they prevent groupthink.
They see problems from different angles.
Exactly. Which often leads to breakthroughs that a more homogeneous team might just miss.
But it's not just about having different people in the room, right? It's about inclusion.
Precisely. You need to cultivate genuine inclusion where every single developer feels valued, heard, respected, regardless of who they are or how much experience they have.
That safe, supportive environment again?
It enriches the whole culture and leads to better, more robust solutions because everyone feels empowered to contribute their best ideas.
Okay, so you've built this environment, people feel safe, included, empowered. How do you keep the momentum going? Recognition, feedback.
Yes, both are vital for sustaining things. You need a robust feedback loop.
What does that look like?
Regularly monitoring, measuring performance, processes, outcomes, using data, actively asking for constructive feedback.
And actually doing something with it.
That's the key, acting on the feedback. And using that loop to also recognize and reward effort.
Okay, recognition. How important is celebrating wins?
Hugely important. Acknowledging hard work, celebrating successes.
Big or small?
Big or small. Bonuses, promotion, sure. But also public praise, or even just simple, sincere thank yous. It boosts morale, reinforces the behaviors you want to see.
And sharing the success stories, does that help?
Definitely. Especially showing how the work impacted the product or the users. It inspires people, shows the tangible results of their innovation.
All right, this all sounds great, but let's be real. Changing culture is hard. What are the typical roadblocks?
Well, there are definitely common hurdles. The biggest one, just basic resistance to change.
People like what they know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The best way to tackle that is clear communication. Explain the why, the benefits for them, for the company, and involve them in the change itself. Build that buy-in.
What about fear? Fear of failure came up earlier.
Still a major barrier. And the antidote is still psychological safety.
Creating that space where calculated risks are okay.
Where mistakes are learning opportunities, not career enders. Where failures are discussed openly, collectively, to learn from them.
Okay. Another one, silos. Teams or departments not talking to each other.
Yeah. Siloed thinking kills collaboration and innovation.
How do you break those down?
Transparency is key. Information needs to flow freely. And you need to actively encourage cross-functional work.
Like embedding engineers in product teams or shared goals?
Both can work. Anything that forces different groups to collaborate towards a common objective.
What about the classic problem? We don't have the resources for this.
Yeah, the resource constraint. Look, the most effective companies make innovation a priority. They allocate budget accordingly.
So it might mean shifting funds.
Shifting funds, finding smart, cost-effective solutions like open source, or maybe even bringing in specialized external talent for specific projects. You get the skills without the long-term overhead.
Okay. It sounds like leadership is pretty central to all of this.
Absolutely fundamental. Fostering this kind of culture has to start at the top.
What should leaders be doing specifically?
Defining the strategy, obviously, but also actively breaking down bureaucracy. Flatter hierarchies, maybe, more decentralized decisions.
Getting out of the way sometimes.
Getting out of the way, letting information flow freely. And crucially, leading by example. They have to model the collaboration, the openness, the innovation they want to see.
Walk the talk.
Walk the talk. And this all connects back to that idea of quality engineering, doesn't it?
How so?
It's this shift away from thinking quality is just QA's job at the very end.
Right. It's everyone's responsibility.
Everyone. Developers, QA, product managers, business folks, when the whole team owns product quality.
You get less rework, faster feedback.
Exactly. Less rework, faster feedback, better customer experience, faster overall velocity. It's a virtuous cycle.
But that sounds like a big shift too. Where do you start?
Start small, pilot it with one team or one project, build some wins, learn, and then expand. Don't try to boil the ocean.
Makes sense. Wow. Okay. We have really covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We started with that paradox. High demand for developers, but also high turnover. Then we dug into the human side developer experience, work-life balance, growth being just as key, maybe more key, than salary alone.
Right. Then the foundations. The right environment, both physical and emotional, investing seriously in learning and tools.
Then the core connections. Trust, openness, that crucial psychological safety we talked about, pair programming as a tool.
Diversity, real inclusion, making sure feedback flows, and celebrating the wins.
And finally, tackling the barriers, resistance, fear, silos, and the massive role of leadership in driving and sustaining it all, tied into that quality mindset.
Yeah, a comprehensive picture.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. If culture really is, what people do when no one's watching,
The default behaviors.
what does your organization's default behavior really say about its values, especially around empowering its people, its developers?
That's a deep question. What are the implicit messages being sent every day?
And maybe more practically, what's one small habit, one specific practice that you could start fostering, maybe even just tomorrow?
Yeah, one small step you could take to nudge your culture towards that more effective, more human-centric place we've been talking about.
Something to think about. We really hope digging into this gives you some concrete ideas for building something truly great where you are.